Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown could be leaving his job at City Hall. Within the last hour, he was offered the job of president and CEO of the Western Regional Off-Track Betting. News 4's Marley Tuskus is in Batavia and was there in the room when the big announcement was made. Marley?
Well, Don, it was a very dramatic announcement just in terms of what this means for both OTB, but the city of Buffalo as well. The board met for several hours in executive session about one floor up from where the media was kept for much of the day. But even after several hours, the vote only taking a matter of minutes before the board chose Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown as the next president and CEO of Western Regional Off-Track Betting. But it's important to note the process does not end there. Brown attended today's interview in person after much speculation whether he was even inside the building at Batavia Downs. The board held an hour-and-a-half long interview with him and their other candidates, though they're not releasing who else was up for the job. Well, should he accept, Brown will succeed Henry Wojtasek in this position after the longtime OTB president accepted a large severance package with plans to step down at the end of this year. And should he accept, Brown will be the CEO of the corporation, which oversees the operation of the off-track betting sites, as well as Batavia Downs and its hotel. When asked why Brown was the chosen candidate in this situation, this is what one board member we heard from had to say.
He oversees 3,000 employees with a budget of over $600 million. He's worked in the same capacity for the past 20 years. The city of Buffalo has seen a resurgence over the past 20 years with the hotels, the economic development, the restaurants, the entertainment, and we think he could be a valuable asset to our organization.
Roll call vote.
Brown has yet to announce whether he accepted this position. In fact, OTB Chairman Dennis Bassett left the room after the vote to speak with their chosen candidate. Should he accept, he ends his time as Buffalo's longest-serving mayor. This is right in the middle of his 5th term. And as I noted, there are several steps left in this process. The next will be for Brown to negotiate a contract before he accepts or not. After, if he does accept, he must obtain a gaming license through New York State. I did ask that board member Elliot Winter, who you just heard from there, typically how long does it take to obtain a gaming license? He says it varies depending on the person. And again, we have reached out to the mayor's spokesperson on today's announcement to see if he has a statement or if he would like to go on camera. We are waiting to hear at this time. But for now, reporting live at Batavia Downs, Marley Tuskus, News 4.
Marley, thank you. We are continuing to follow this political earthquake that is shaking Buffalo City Hall tonight. News 4's Patrick Ryan is also in Batavia with more now. Patrick.
Don, good evening to you. We're live here outside of Batavia Downs Gaming, where that meeting ended a short time ago with the Western Regional Off-Track Betting Board of Directors selecting Byron Brown as their pick to lead them into a new era here as Henry Wojtasek, the planning underway for him to step aside at the end of the year. Taking a look, you can see the meeting now. Now, Mayor Brown, as Marley said, still needs to accept, and if he does, that contract will need to be negotiated and acquiring a gaming license. He has long time been the rumored top pick for this job. It has been swirling, and the winds of political implications will be blowing as to who will take over for Mayor Brown. In the interim, if he does decide to leave City Hall, City Councilman, President of the City Council, Chris Scanlon, will be the one to be acting mayor to fill out the rest of the term if he does in fact decide to leave. Now, you'll remember that Mayor Brown was sworn in January of 2022 after a contentious campaign and a write-in battle. Again, we'll continue to follow this story. We have not seen Mayor Brown in or out of Batavia Downs at all today. That meeting getting underway today at 11 a.m., just ending a short time ago. If we do see him, we will of course be asking questions as to what his plans for the future are, and we'll bring that to you on air and online. We'll send it back to you, Don.